Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on this Tuesday, December the 30th, 2025. And I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous. Okay, that's what I said. I'm doing great. I'm about to drink me some coffee and get back to handling my business, but I want to come on through again, as I said, and continue to end the year with the deconstruction process that a lot of people are going through, the re-examining of their lives, the fact that people are snapping out of it and realizing how much of a fool they've made of themselves by believing in religion. And I stress being kind and gentle with yourself when this is discovered, because it's going to be a revelation for you. You're going to snap out of it, get a grip, and realize, what have I done with my life? I say again, don't stress on that. Don't be harsh on yourself. Just kindly, and again, no one has to know this. Just kindly say, okay, I vow to myself that I'm going to snap out of it even more and get a grip on my life and regain control, take over the wheel, so to speak, and drive my own goddamn vehicle and get rid of this driverless bullshit that's out there, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. The driverless concept it means essentially allowing someone else to take over the wheel. Now, even though there's trains out there, planes, trains, and automobiles, but the plane is monitored by two captains, supposedly. The train, same thing. Those devices, which can be dangerous, are monitored. When we get into driverless vehicles, we're turning everything over to artificial intelligence and believing artificial intelligence is safe for us to turn our lives all over to it. So many people have done that, and it's going to come back and haunt them. These so-called know-it-alls who have turned everything over to this technology are not going to be able to control it, and thus they're going to get wiped out of a lot of these so-called projects they're working on. Imagine working on a space shuttle, for example, and you have no control over it, no matter what you do. You know how dangerous that is? Okay, you know how dangerous that is? So the deconstruction process is just going to open you up to what's really going on. You don't have this third party interfering like religion, which has the tentacles I told you, which are preachers, pastors, ministers, homeowners associations, any type of association that is limiting your ability. It's either an association, a person, examples I just gave, that are limiting your ability to make your own decisions and control your own life, and thus turning over, so it's a dictatorship, actually. All of it is a dictatorship. You work with managers who interfere with your ability to work. You work with supervisors who interfere with your ability to work. You work with teachers. The teachers association. Are they interfering with your ability to teach? These so-called associations. Now, back in the day, we had unions. Remember unions? Well, unions were benefiting the individual worker. But guess what? Guess what's happened to unions? I was thankful to have a good representative when I had my issues, with certain levels of managers. So there are some helpfulness, but at the same time, it's like these entities that you are going up against fund a lot of these unions these days. So and so in other words, when you start deconstructing, you'll look more into the churches that you've congregated to faithfully. But then you look around your neighborhood and you realize your neighborhood hasn't changed at all. But the vehicles that are parked in front of that church have. The people, the way they dress have changed. You have to do that type of discernment. That's not judgment. That's discernment. If your neighborhood is still, in the state of despair, but the church is holding up. So this deconstruction process is just the beginning. But what's great about it now is that it's the signs of the time. Okay? The signs of the times are allowing you to open up your consciousness more. And there's no threat to you per se if you do that, whereas no one has to know. Okay? So you can be working against the criminal negative energy and no one has to know, and no one will know. If you put all of your efforts into your consciousness, not into some God, no preacher, pastor, not even teachers, okay? Or guides. What teachers and guides are supposed to do is direct you. They direct you. You follow. You take the path. You take the walk. They don't interfere. And I had to learn that lesson about interfering. I'll guide you. I'll give you the material you need, the equipment you need, but you need to walk this. It has to be in aloneness, regardless of who is around you. It has to be. So yes, you may be isolated or sense some type of isolation. Go ahead and recognize that silently and say, hey, but the path is worth it. And I'm telling you, it is. The path is worth it. So as we're going through these deconstruction process, and as this year 2025 is coming to an end, be reflective as well. I'm constantly being reflective on this year. There was some sadness this year. There were some triumphs. There were some disappointments. And thankfully I was able to regroup, kind of reset, recalibrate, and I'm still moving forward. It's all about movement. In your thoughts, pay attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking about right now? Why are you thinking about that? We have to work on the rumination. The rumination is keeping you stagnant, and it just keeps you circling, and then eventually you're gonna drive yourself into some type of form of depression, some form of psychosis. Your thoughts are doing that, by the way. They drive you there. You're driving yourself there. So do not be a driverless vehicle metaphor. Okay, take a hold of that wheel. Control your narrative. Take it out of the hands of these third parties like media, certain media outlets wanting to control your narrative, tell you how to live, and not telling you the big picture. They're only telling you small, what they call clickbait. And it is, They're attempting to keep you confused, keep you submissive, keep you scared, keep you fearful, so that you don't do anything. You're frozen. And when you're frozen, that's when things can take over your life, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right now. I have my coffee. I'm ready to drink my coffee and enjoy my day. Universal love was always inclusive. We, as a humanity, divided it and turn it into a commodity. Be safe. Make sure your environment is safe as we end this year. Make sure there's nothing in your way, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. Make sure your home is safe. Make sure your vehicle is safe. Protect yourself, protect others, and most importantly, protect your consciousness. Talk to you soon.